Hey everyone, it's Zach Wright from IMEO Company, improving management, employees, and organizations where we focus on people, processes, and purpose. In today's video, we wanted to show you how to use Google Classroom to create your own LMS system. Now, there's a lot of LMS systems out there, but this is specifically for small businesses who might be in that growth stage or looking to hire employees, but they don't have enough money to invest in a full-on LMS system. And this is also going to be more specific for people who have G Suite environments. So if that's you, definitely stay tuned. And before we move forward, feel free to like and subscribe so you can see all of these videos coming out that we do weekly or bi-weekly. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into it. What I'm looking at here is just an open tab on Google Chrome. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because I wanted to start with showing you where you can find Google Classroom. So if we go right here, we're going to pick this 3x3 and we're going to go all the way down to where we see Classroom. Now, a lot of people might not be too familiar with Classroom or Google Classroom, but I've used it in previous companies to help save the company a lot of money, because the good thing is if you're in a Google environment, then you already have this. It's not an addition. It's not an extra charge. It's not an extra fee. The only fee that G Suite is going to charge you is by adding a new G Suite employee, which is about $6 to $12 depending on which subscription package you have. So to begin this, I've already started with kind of the framework of what our classroom is going to be. Now, instead of focusing on an LMS system for training and development or onboarding, I wanted to do something that IMEO can use and utilize, which is our IMEO Leadership Development Program. This is going to be a classroom where people can subscribe to and they can get access to this, and it will walk them through much like an LMS drip schedule would or an online course would. So what we're looking at here is the beginning of the classroom. This is what the administrator will see or the instructor of the course will see. They can send this class code to whoever needs to have this. So if we're talking about onboarding, we're talking about the new hires, which I recommend sending it in one of your first emails that you send them, maybe the weekend before they start on that Monday, or whatever your setup is at your company. So we have that, or we can simply just send them the link by sharing it with them. Now, what you're looking at here is going to be the news feed, right? It's going to be what people can see. Now, I've went ahead and kind of just created a simple email looking thing here to welcome new class members. So simply, I'll just skim through it. It says, "Hello team, I'm excited to begin this journey with you as you venture into leadership development. At IMEO, we look forward to helping others improve and grow their knowledge and leadership." I won't read the whole thing, but you can see that you're trying to get people interested in what the course is going to be. And as people begin to join, they can go in here and say, "Great, I'm excited as well." Maybe they'll spell correctly as well. But it's a way to create engagement within this feature, right? This is going to be the feed. It's almost like an Instagram feed or a Facebook feed or whatever the case is. So we have that. You can post in here. You can set it up where only the instructor can do this, or you can set it up where the classroom attendees can put in their own post, or they can only comment. So it's really up to you what type of environment you want to have, what type makes sense for you. If you have 100+ people, or probably even 20+, you probably want to keep this instructor only and allow the classmates to have their comments below. So this is the first part of it. Now, if you wanted to, you can select a different theme here. So there you can see there's multiple. For us, we just chose to do this because this makes sense to us. Everybody knows what a laptop is, an iPad, a tablet, whatever the case is. So that's what we have here. And as you go through this, you'll have certain things that will be due on certain dates. So you'll be able to have a running list of upcoming events, upcoming homework, upcoming quizzes that your students or your onboarding class will go through. So let's go into classwork, because this is where you're going to develop what the class is actually going to go through. So you can see that I've already created a leadership 101 here. So that's going to be the header. But the way that I did that is you can go here. You can go into topics. So then let's just keep it consistent here. So we can say 102. And what that's going to do is it's going to add that leadership 102. Now, this is very much drag and drop. So if I wanted to, which makes sense, right? Leadership 101 that goes into leadership 102. I can just drag that and simply move it up and down. Now, the way that I got to this part is by creating material. So I'll go ahead and click in here, and it's the same thing, leadership 102. And then I'm going to type in a description. So as you can see, I put in this section, we'll go into detail on how to build cohesive teams. And then I list a topic. So I'll show you why that's important here in a moment. But once we have our description, we can choose the topic that it's going to go into. So this is obviously going to be leadership 102. And you can have different topics within different subjects. So if it's leadership 102, and then you want to have a different subject line, you can definitely do that here. But what's cool with using Google Classroom as an LMS system or a course creation, you can go into, if everything is on your Google Drive, you can go into your Google Drive, My Drive, and just pick and choose what needs to be uploaded here. So for this one, it's going to be leadership. So I'm going to click on leadership here. And then let's say leadership development. And let's just say that it's these 4 things, which it's not because it's already on that other page. But just to keep this video going, we're going to use these again. And then let's say that you want to add a video. If you have the video on My Drive, then you can easily go in here and choose what that is. So I'm very organized with what I have. So I'm going to go into leadership and business development. So let's look into from manager to leader. That sounds like it would be good that we can add here. Is there anything else? Nice manager. So we can put these 2 in here as videos for the employee that's onboarding, or in this case, the leader that is learning to view and watch. So now what we're going to do is we have the description, we have the title, we have the documents in here. We're going to go up here to the post section. Now, if you weren't ready, you could save your draft or you could schedule your post, but I'm going to go ahead and post it. Okay, so now where we only had leadership 101, you can see that now we have leadership 102. And you can click here to scroll through. So as I mentioned, the employee is able to see what is going to be happening here, right? Now, the other part of the puzzle, rather than just creating the material, is to see if the employee or the leader that is going through the leadership program is retaining the information. So how do we do that? What we're going to do is go back up here to create. And you can see that you have quiz assignments, or you have questions, or you just have an assignment altogether. So let's say that we want to add a quiz assessment. So that's going to pop up very much like the creation of the materials. And what you're going to do is just go in here and add questions that relates to that topic. Now, what you see is I added the title, which is going to be the quiz for Leadership 102. We're going to have just a simple instruction here. Please answer the following questions to the best of your ability. And then what's good about this, again, with using Google Suite, is that you can just use Google Forms to create your quiz. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to this page here. So I can change this to Leadership 102 quiz or assessment, whatever makes sense for you. So then you can enter your questions here. So you can see I filled out this questionnaire or this quiz with just one question. It really depends on what you're looking for in your LMS approach or your leadership program or whatever you're using Google Classroom for. Now, what's cool is with the classroom version of Google Forms is you can choose whether or not to show or show the answer feedback. So what we want to do is, like, let's say that this whole thing has 100 points. And we're going to say that all of these equal the characteristics of a cohesive team. So now we have that. And if we wanted to view this in action, we could see that whenever a student opens this, this is what they're going to see. And obviously you can make this a lot better. You can add a visual for the image, keep it on brand. You can add a different theme to it to make it look better. But let's go through this. So let's say that the person only chooses these four right here. So we're going to click that. And then you can view the score. So now, not only can the employee go through here and see what their total is right away, they can see what was right and what was wrong. So here's the correct answers. And then here is what the student answered, which to me is just fascinating. I think that this is such an underutilized feature of G Suite in companies, in classrooms, and really everywhere that it can be applicable. So let's go back here and let's say that we have this. Let's just double check, make sure that it's good. Yep, and then let's just change the title up here because you don't want to have blank quiz. Someone might think that it's not actually a quiz. So now we can save that. Let's just double check up here. Close the rest of these tabs out. So yep, we have it here. We're good to go. So now we'll probably want to refresh this. So let's assign it first. And we can see that the leadership quiz is posted up here. That's where a lot of things are going to be posted that were just made. So we're going to drag this down here where it makes sense. Let me try it again. Yeah, so we'll put it right there. You got to have that lightly gray bar to make sure that it goes in there. So now you can see that this leadership 102 has leadership 102. And then you might want to add something like the lecture or the class work or whatever it is that you're looking at there. And then you have the leadership 102 quiz. So we have those, and also it's easy to navigate if you go here on the side toolbar, or you can go to all topics. So now we have what we want to have in our course. Now, obviously, this is a tutorial. It's a walkthrough. We're going to add more to this. And just as a recap, you can have assignments, quiz assignments, questions, material, and then you can reuse a post or whatever the case is. Now, the other things that we have up here are class drive folder. So if you wanted to create a class drive folder, that can be where all the material is stored. And let's say that after a topic is completed or the entire course is completed, you can share that drive folder with your team so they can have all the materials that they need. Then the other part is a Google Calendar. Now, if you're not familiar with Google Calendar, you can create your own calendar for this specific classroom, and you can share that calendar with the new hires, with the people going through the leadership development program, and so on and so forth. And then the other part is Google Meet. So if you click on this, you can have and create a Google Meet where everybody can go straight to it. We won't dive into that too much. But the next portion that I wanted to talk about is people. So what's good about this is, let's say that you have 2 or 3 instructors. you can simply add them as long as they have your organization here. You can add them with an email and they'll have access to this. Same thing with students. So if you want to just send them the invite link, you can definitely do that, or you can add multiple people in through their emails. And that's another good best practice where you're going to invite people to this class the weekend before. So whenever they enter on Monday, they have this and they're ready to get started. And one of the other things that I want to mention here with an LMS system and why it's important is the studies have shown that you significantly increase the longevity of an employee staying in your organization when you have a good onboarding program. That means that when people go through your onboarding, they understand what is expected, what is required. They understand and they have a full-on structure for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, however long your onboarding process is. So that's another key factor, especially in a remote environment. Another company that I work for besides IMEO has 100% remote workforce, which means that we have to be 100% intentional on what we provide to our people who are onboarding. If we don't provide them with the right information, or even if we provide it a little bit later, then that can actually have a negative effect on the employee's satisfaction and engagement throughout the course of their duration at the company. So that's something to definitely think about whenever you're looking at implementing an LMS system or just having a full-on onboarding process. So now the last part of this is grades. So as your students go through and they complete the quizzes and they have the entire course completed, you'll be able to see the grades here. So we obviously don't have this because we don't have students in this program right now, but as they go through this program, you'll start to see those trickle in. And what's great about that is you don't have to go searching for a Google form or an assignment. It will all be found in here. So as a quick recap, we have our landing page here, so to speak. We have our opening, our storefront of the classroom of the program. We have our coursework here that individuals will be able to come in and see. They can click on these. They can see that the material is there. You can click on it and view it. And if classmates have comments, they can ask them here. So if somebody has a question about chapter 1, professor, instructor, coach, I didn't understand this section of the chapter 1, the need for leadership. Can you help me explain this? So they can come in here. You as the instructor can come in here and help them understand that, or you can take it offline and have a conversation with them as well. Then again, we have the people with the instructors, the students, and then the last part is the grades. So I hope that this video is helpful. And at IMEO, we can definitely help you set this up. And if you have any questions on how to do that, definitely feel free to set up a free consultation with us. It's a 30-minute conversation to an hour conversation where we discuss how we can potentially help you. And I think that we always find those beneficial, even if we don't move forward. Another option is you can send us an email at zwright@imeoconsulting.com, or you can follow us on our the writing blog post, our Instagram, which is actually at Zach A. Wright, or on LinkedIn at imeocompany.com or Facebook at imeocompany.com. But if you made it this far, I definitely appreciate you watching. Feel free to like and subscribe so you don't miss the new videos. But we'll see you on the next episode.